Oh, hello there. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Business Basics series, the class where we learn important key phrases and even communicative strategies for dealing with different kinds of business situations. But you don't have to be a business person to be part of this class, because these are things that will help you in your job, your professional life, no matter what you do. Today we're going to be working on the last part of our unit all about career planning. We looked at an unusual career, someone who was in an unusual career in the last class, who had some interesting advice. So we're going to take a look at his advice, and then you're going to be advising a partner about his or her career plan, and you're going to get some career advice of your own from a partner in class. Okay, I'm going to skip the introduction because I had a little trouble starting the class. So I will just say, if you want to interact with me through Verbling, you have to follow me on the left side when you go to my profile page. And if you want to book a class or private tutoring session, you can, but you need to send me a message first so I can be sure that I have time for you in my schedule. Okay, this is the material that we looked at in the last class. Specifically, we looked at an article about Chris Hadfield, the man who fell to earth. In the second part, we looked at a little discussion of the book that he wrote, An Astronaut's Guide to Life. Okay, even if you weren't here, no problem. We're going to summarize the advice he gave, and we're going to use that to give advice of our own. So let me just say a quick hello. Welcome back, Frederick and Giancarlo. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good morning.
And hello. And let's say hello to, I cannot read Chinese, so I don't know what your name is.
I'm Japanese. I'm Nao.
But those are Chinese characters.
This is also Japanese character. We have a 3 kind of alphabet. So.
Whatever it is, I can't read it. What is your name?
Nao.
Nao. Hello, Nao. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
And so you're from Japan?
Japan, but I'm living in Sweden.
You're from Japan, but you're living in Sweden.
Yes.
So I should say, hey.
Hey, hur mår du?
Hey, tack. That's the extent of my Swedish.
Yes, perfect.
Hey, tack så mycket. And I know another word in Swedish.
Yes, it's English lesson.
I know, but I got to practice my Swedish now that you're here. What's the other Swedish word I know?
Jag heter Nao is jag heter is I am.
Jag heter.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I am now. Jag heter now. Jag heter John Eric. Okay, that's enough. That's enough Swedish.
Okay.
Let's see. Since you weren't here in the first class, I wanted to know if maybe Frederick or Giancarlo, do you think you could tell now about Chris Hadfield's idea of the power of negative thinking? Because that's where we left off. Do you remember his idea? And do you remember who he is? Who is Chris Hadfield, the guy with the unusual career that we read about? Just quickly for now, who is he? Frederick, Giancarlo, do you remember?
He's an astronaut, right?
He is an astronaut.
He's an astronaut, and the concept of thinking negative or positive thinking, I remember that it's related to the thing we think before doing the actions we need to, and our mind is a powerful tool. And when we are ready and we are prepared and we say, for example, I'm going to travel to England, for example, I'm going to travel, I am planning it ahead because I am positive to do it. Maybe in a certain way it is similar to the film The Secret or the book The Secret, no? I think so.
Okay, that's what he's critiquing, yeah. He's critiquing things like The Secret. And he's giving a kind of, because that's like the power of positive thinking. So here's this expression. By the way, now this is not a self-help class. This is an English class. But because it came up in the article, it's good for us to take a look at what the gist of the article was. So you often hear this expression. I'll write it in the chat window. The power of positive thinking. And I agree with you, Giancarlo. It's something like The Secret, right? Best-selling book. Frederick, what is Chris Hadfield's idea about the power of negative thinking? If positive thinking is wishing for something so hard that it comes true, what do you think negative thinking is from the last class, Frederick? You remember?
Hmm. Yes, but positive thinking is.
No, not positive. Negative thinking. And specifically, you can look at paragraph 10. I think it's paragraph 10. Give me a second. No, paragraph 9. The end of paragraph 9, if you want to refresh your memory. Okay?
Yes, yeah, he said that negative thinking is a way to anticipate or to predict the bad things that may happen.
Exactly. And do you remember we had a phrasal verb that we used in class to express that same idea? To think what? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Anyone? Going once? Going twice? To think something through. To think through.
Yeah.
To think through. So he's kind of joking with us in paragraph 9. He says the power of negative thinking. What he meant is, as an astronaut, everything is trying to kill you because you're not in a natural environment for human beings. There's no air, there's no pressure, there's no heat. Anything you do wrong will kill you. So he says the power of negative thinking is to think of the next thing that can possibly kill you and plan for it. So it's kind of a joke. But I think he's also critiquing, because he says in the paragraph, it's puzzling to me, I'm quoting there from the 5th or 6th line, it's puzzling to me that so many self-help gurus urge people to visualize victory and stop there. He's actually not saying that the power of positive thinking is a bad thing. He's saying that stopping at positive thinking is a bad thing. You need to go to the next step and not only visualize what you want, but visualize what can go wrong. So I thought that was an interesting idea. Giancarlo, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, John. So, in a certain way, it is necessary to think negatively because I understand from these lines that when you think negatively, you are preparing the way to get it into positive one. Because, for example, if you say, okay, today it's going to rain and it's going to be a traffic jam, many different situations. But when you are thinking about the negative stuff, in a certain way you are ready to change the negative things into positive ones because you have the experience or you have the knowledge or maybe you are ready
You're ready. You're
because
prepared. Yeah.
you're prepared because you can see the negative things before in front of you and you say, okay, no, I need to do this in order to be in a better situation. Maybe talking about the weather, for example. Is that the thing he mentions, John?
Frederick, what do you think? Is that what he mentions? Does that sound about right?
First of all, I don't think it is. I think negative thinking is most a marketing
Strategy or something.
strategy sentence. It's not really negative thinking. It's more you have to anticipate the wrong thing that may happen. It's not you know like today it's gonna be rainy. Too bad. No, it's like maybe today is gonna raining. So maybe I have to get my umbrella. You know.
Right. So it's the it's the just in case situation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I used a word in the last class. It begins with a C. 4 syllables. Does anyone remember what it is?
No.
No.
It's a kind of planning that you do. Kind of planning. Begins with the C-O-N. Con. C-O-N-T.
Content,
Yeah,
contention,
that's it. Almost. The word was contingency. Contingency planning, right?
contingency. Yes, yes,
So
because
that
here,
summarizes what Frederick, that summarizes what you're saying. You
Okay.
do a contingency plan. It might rain, so I ought to bring an umbrella, right?
to have
Not, not,
options.
not, yeah, not necessarily emergency, Nader. Just, just to be aware of everything that could go wrong and have a plan B if it happens. Exactly. And so that's the idea that we talked about in the last class. And we also did one other thing. We looked at some keywords because we're going to have to use this in this class. We looked at some keywords that will come up when you're talking about a career plan. Does anyone remember some of those keywords? I gave you a bunch of sentences with missing. Actually, Nader, there's really no material today. We're just kind of going to be speaking and using what we've learned in the previous class or two. Okay? So there's nothing really to read. If there is, I will send you a link, though. So before we try a career plan of our own, I want to see if I can just give you an example or two of some of those key words because we're going to use them again. Give me just a second to open the material from the last class that I used. Oh no. But while I'm doing that, Frederick and Giancarlo, because you're both here, do you remember a few of those keywords that we talked about? I'd given you a bunch of sentences about a guy making plans. And there was a word missing in each. I don't know if you remember. If you don't, I'll remind you in a second. But if you do, I have to figure out, sorry, where I put the material. Oh, here it is. Found it. I'll remind you right now, actually. We were talking about the stages in Mark's career. That was the guy. And I gave you sentences about things that Mark did. After a successful interview at Chemotech PLC, he was blank for the position. After graduating university, he decided to blank as a junior engineer. Does this sound familiar from Monday?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'll tell you what. Do you remember a few of the keywords we used before I give you the answers from the other day?
Yeah.
What do you remember? First, what do you remember?
Hire.
Okay. Hired for the position. He decided to blank as a junior engineer after graduating.
Apply.
Apply for a job, right? So these are things that you probably know, right? I'm not saying that they're new, but just useful in talking about the stages of a career. All right. Let me see if I can give you the full list of the sentences from the other day. Okay? Take a quick look. Actually, if I could just have you all read one. Let's go through these really quick, and I'll point out the keyword. Frederick, can you do the first one in the chat window for us? This is a review of what we did. It's not new. Okay?
After a successful interview at Chemotech PLC, he was hired for the position.
Okay, good. So the key word there is to be hired. Okay? By the way, repeat after me. Successful.
Successful.
Good. Not successful. The stress is on the success, second syllable.
Successful.
Good. Giancarlo, can you take the second one?
Yes. After graduating from university, Mark decided to apply for a job as a junior engineer.
So the key word there is apply for a job.
Apply for, yeah.
Okay, that's it. Apply for, right. Now, can you read the third one in the chat window for us?
After nearly 20 years of running his own business, Mark decided to retire early.
Okay, very good. Repeat after me, the last word. Early.
Early.
Yes, it's difficult because you don't have that sound in Japanese. It's difficult.
Yes, that's right.
So, That's
Early.
it. That's it. That's it. That's exactly right.
Thank you.
So, the trick with the L and the R is this. The L, when it begins a word, is when you put your tongue here, right behind the front of your teeth. That's when it begins a word like lick. So that L is very clear, lick. An R, when it begins a word, is with your lips, like you did. So like read, when your lips are round, read.
Okay.
Okay, say that for me, read.
Read.
Okay, it's actually good.
Thank you.
Better than most. Now the problem is this. When an L or R is in the middle of the word, the sound is different. The L becomes like a U sound. So we don't say call, we say call. So the L becomes like an O sound, call. To call my mother. I'm going to call my mother, not call. So the L changes when it ends or is in the middle of a word. And say that for me, call.
Call.
Right, good, perfect. And the R blends together with the other sounds. So for example, we say read, but we don't say car. We don't use the lips. It's kind of just open. Car, R, R, and your tongue curls back in your mouth too. It doesn't touch anything. It just curls back. Car. You can't see inside my mouth, but my tongue is doing exactly. If I do this on the camera. Wait a second. There we go. Car. It's doing exactly. That's it. That's it. Actually, that's right. That's right.
Car.
Okay. That's perfect. Very good. Okay. So just be aware that the L and the R have you're doing something different in your mouth when they begin a word than you are when they're in the middle or when they end a word or syllable. Okay? Very good, very good. Let's read the rest to do a quick review, and then we're going to try out a little career counseling of our own. Okay? And there, you'll be able to join us in the chat window. I know you can't read because of your mic is off today. Fredrik, let's do the fourth one.
Chemotech ran into financial difficulties during the economic crisis, and Mark was laid off.
Key word there is laid off.
Laid
Not
off.
fired, laid off. Repeat after me. Financial.
Financial.
Not fee, but fi, right.
Financial.
Good. Giancarlo, the next.
The next one is due to his extensive experience, he quickly got hired by another company as a chief engineer.
Excellent. To get hired. Notice earlier we had to be hired. Now we have to get hired. They mean the same thing. The difference is he got hired by. So it's the passive voice, but we replace the verb to be with the verb to get. It still is the passive voice, though. You wouldn't say, normally the passive voice, something is done by someone. Like the book was written by Hemingway. But you wouldn't say the book got written by Hemingway, because it doesn't have quite the same meaning. So here there's like a service being performed. Something is being performed for you. So it's not exactly the same as just doing an action. Okay? So he quickly got hired. Someone, this might be a little bit confusing, but someone did this favor for him, did this service for him. Like I got my car fixed by a mechanic. So it has a slightly different meaning. Okay, just slightly different.
Yeah, I remember the use of get, and I read something about that. When you change from one state to another one, for example, I got sick.
Right.
I got
Exactly.
cold.
Oh,
I got angry.
Yeah, in that sense, it's to become. Right.
To become, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Good. We're back to now for the one where he decided.
He decided to become self-employed and start his own business as a consultant.
Okay, good. Remember, there's no L's inside of a word. Not consultant, but consultant.
Consultant.
That's right. Good. Okay, very good. And so the key word there about the consultant was self-employed. That's one key word. When you work for yourself, you're self-employed. And to start a business. To start a business and to be self-employed. Two key words that could be useful when talking about a career plan. Back to Frederick for Mark Felt.
Mark felt he needed to change in his life, so he decided to hand in his notice and start a new career.
Okay. Hand in his notice. By the way, let's clarify that. What did he do by handing in his notice? What did he actually do?
He decided to hand in his
Is that clear? Can you just quit and never come to work starting today?
okay. He warned his employer that he is going to quit.
Yeah. To give advance warning is to hand in your notice. That's it. Okay. Repeat after me, Frederick. Two things. First, the CH, we've got three different pronunciations for the CH. We have the French CH, which is sh. We have the Latin CH, which is k. And we have the English, the Germanic CH, which is ch. This one is the Germanic one. Change.
Change.
Right. Not change, but change. Ch, like ciao, Bella. Change. Good. In words that have the French pronunciation, they are English words that are derived from French, which is like 60% of the language or something like that. So there's a lot of sh's, like we say the chef is in the kitchen. We don't say chef. We say chef, like in French.
Okay.
But older words, like church and change, they have the Germanic ch sound, the old words in English. And also not notice, but notice.
Notice.
Notice, good. Mr. Giancarlo, can you just read the last one for us? Mark worked?
Mark worked diligently for several years and eventually got promoted to the position of senior engineer.
Okay, diligently. Does that mean he worked hard, or does that mean he was lazy?
The first one. Hard.
Hard, right. He worked hard.
Hard.
To work hard. Work hard. Work diligently. All right. So I want to see if I can. I want to just point out other things you can use with get, since we talked about get. Take a look at this. Receive a promotion. Class, besides saying receive, we could also say, what can we replace receive with?
Got a promotion.
Right. Got a promotion to get a promotion. And that means to move up to a higher position. Okay. What's the opposite of a promotion then, class? All of you, what's the opposite of a promotion? If you do something wrong, sorry, I have to plug in my laptop. I'm still here. Keep talking. If you do something wrong, you don't get a promotion, you get the opposite. Does anyone know what the opposite would be? Take a guess. Anybody?
Research.
Research? Why research?
I don't know.
No, take the word promotion and
Penalty? No.
Yeah, say it again.
Penalty?
Oh, no, not penalty. No. The problem is the prefix pro. You need to change the prefix. Promotion implies that you're moving up. How would you say it to move down?
In.
In motion?
Un.
Unmotion. It's a good guess, not un.
This.
The answer is demotion.
Demotion.
Demotion. And believe it or not, that is a word you hear. Hopefully you won't hear it often. I received or I got a demotion. That can absolutely happen. That's what we call it. Okay, that means to move to a junior position. Now, look at this expression I just wrote in the chat window. Say it for me and tell me if you know what it means. Can you see the last thing I wrote in the chat window now?
Get the sack.
Get the sack. Do you know what that means? To get the sack? Have you heard that before?
Sacks.
This is the sack, like, look, here's the sack, kind of like a sack. And if I get the sack, I have to put this,
Sack.
and I have to walk out the door with my sack. In other words, I have to pack my things and go, right? I have to pack my things and go. So if I get the sack, that's a synonym for what in normal everyday language? I have to what? What happened to me?
You are fired.
You're fired.
Yeah.
You're fired. To get the sack means to pack your things, put them in your bag, and walk out the door. You're fired. Okay? So that's another expression. There's a synonym for that. If you've been put in a position by somebody, there's a synonym. By the way, before I tell you, can you think of a synonym for get fired, get the sack? Anything come to mind? Particularly if someone has put you in a position, appointed you. Any ideas? What do you say at the end of school? When you're in class at your kid, and the bell rings, you're not allowed to leave. The teacher has to give you permission to leave. What does the teacher say to give you permission to leave? He or she says, class
Over.
over. Another way to say class over. Class
Finished.
Class finished. Another way to say finished. Class
Ends.
Class what?
Ends.
Class ends. Another way to say class ends. David, you're a teacher. Come on, you know this one. David, you know this one. David's out there with his microphone off. Apparently David has climbed the tree. He can't come down.
Morning. Classes resume?
No. Before you send the kids out of the classroom, you first have to give them permission to leave. Right? So you say, okay, class.
Class is over. Class is up.
Take a look in the chat window, David.
What is it?
Look in the chat window. See it?
Dismissal. Yeah, class is dismissed. Yeah.
Class dismissed.
Yeah.
You
Dismissal,
give permission for people to leave. You dismiss them. So get the sack in a more formal way is, I got dismissed from my job. Hopefully you won't hear anyone say that to you anytime soon. Okay? Since we're talking about dismissals, what happens, what do we call it when you dismiss yourself? You dismiss yourself. What's another way to say that? You have not been fired by anyone, you fire yourself. What do you have to give your boss to notify your boss that you are no longer working at the company? We have an expression for this. Does anyone know?
To give a notice?
You can give notice. We've got another one here. You can hand in your what?
Resignation.
Resignation is right. You can hand in your resignation. That means you're giving notice that you're quitting. You're resigning. Okay. I think those are all the phrases I wanted to go over. Get a promotion, get a demotion, get the sack, to be dismissed, to hand in your resignation. Give me a second here. All right, I think that's it. Just out of curiosity, okay, just one quick question, and then we're going to try to put you in pairs and give you a little bit of career counseling. Let's see, Mr. Giancarlo, I want you to read. Oops, sorry, the text is a little bit messed up. I would like you to read this discussion question I just put in the chat window for us?
Yes, it says, describe your company's organizational structure. Is it flat or hierarchy? Wow, it's a quite difficult word.
5 syllables.
5. Yeah.
High,
Higher,
er,
higher,
are,
hierarchical,
kick, right. Hierarchical.
hierarchical.
Good.
How easy is it to climb the ladder?
Okay, so think about what you're doing now, or what you're going to be doing, or if you're not working, what you have done. And briefly talk about the hierarchy. If you're a freelance teacher, there isn't much of a hierarchy because there's just the owner, the manager, and the teachers. It's usually just barely even 3 levels. So there's a manager that's running a school, and then teachers who are hired to teach classes. It's hierarchical, but there's really no chance to climb the career ladder. Do you agree with me, David? You're a teacher.
Say it again? Yes, yeah, I mean, in a way you're right.
If it's a private school, it's like that. So the only way to move, how do you move up the career ladder if you're in a private school? The only way I can think about it is start your own school. Or go into a place that has a hierarchy. Okay.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, because if you're a teacher and you want to be a principal, for example, or administrator, then you take classes, and then you are promoted. We have to apply for promotion, of course, if there's an opening in the school.
Only if it's a public school, because otherwise you don't have those positions. If you're in a public school, yeah, sure.
No, a private school too. My school does that. I mean, many teachers have been teachers. I mean, there are people now who are working as principals or maybe administrators, but they were teachers before. So
when you say private school, what do you mean by private school?
Private school is it's an independent school that they fund themselves. So they depend on tuition for the survival and donations.
Right. When I said private school, I meant something like Verbling. So maybe we have to call it something different.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what to call it, but yes. If you mean a private school in the public system, yes, you could say online school in there. That's true. But I mean, I don't know what to call it. These little schools that you send your kids to because they're not getting. Well, Verbling is a platform, but I mean, there's also just schools like. Yeah. But there's schools too because they have certification.
But we have language. Yeah, they have language schools, maybe language schools. Because private schooling, if you say private school in the United States, everybody is going to think about schools that don't belong to the public system.
They're gonna think of Harvard University. It's a private school.
Right.
Okay, that's true. So if you're in that kind of a private school, sure, you could move up to administration. You could move up to being kind of a leader of a department. Or a head of a department too.
Yeah, department or principal too. Yeah.
Or principal, right? Okay. Let's see. Now, what do you do for a living, or what will you be doing? Can you talk a little bit about the hierarchy in your field?
Hierarchy.
Yeah. So hierarchy is like this. You come in at the entry level.
I know. Japanese is very strong hierarchy, I think.
So Japanese businesses are very hierarchical. They're very hierarchical. Hierarchical. That's right. Okay. Exactly. So Japanese businesses and culture is very hierarchical. So how easy is it to climb the ladder now? Is it easy or is it difficult?
Difficult.
Is it more difficult for women than men? Or is it about the same?
No, difficult for women.
Okay. Do you know what we call that when women are not able to climb the ladder? We have a name. We call that the glass ceiling. Have you ever heard that expression before?
No.
Glass ceiling is when you can look up
Mm.
and you can see the position that you want, but you can't reach it because you're blocked,
Okay.
right? And so we say that about women,
Mm.
about minorities, about immigrants, people who, in theory, they can move up, but in reality, someone's going to block you.
Okay.
So, do you think there's a glass ceiling in Japanese companies for women?
Yeah, the Japanese big company are very are glass ceiling,
Have glass ceilings.
have glass ceilings.
Ah, I see.
Ceiling.
Right. Okay. So that sounds frustrating.
Yeah, so some people, some women start own company,
Okay.
and my friends are start own company. The men is also.
And some people move to Sweden instead of.
Yeah, it's very rare case, and I've never worked in the Japanese normal company. I was singer in Japan, so I I'm always outside of hierarchy.
You're a freelancer like me.
Yes.
Okay. And are you a singer in Sweden?
No, now I'm studying, but I will start own company
Yeah?
soon. Yes.
Oh, very good. And what's your company going to specialize in? What are you going to produce?
Not produce. I would like to represent about Japanese culture, some
Okay.
traditional part in Sweden for Swedish.
Fantastic. Very good. So, for example, you're going to have a Japanese tea ceremony or something like that, and people can come. You're
Yes,
going to
that's right.
Okay, excellent. Where I was born, I was born in Philadelphia, and there was a big park, and there was a reconstructed Japanese, what do you call the traditional buildings with the sliding doors and the wax paper, like the bamboo kind of structure houses? I don't know what they're called.
Shoji.
Shoji. So it had a reconstructed shoji.
Oh, that's cool.
And they would perform traditional tea ceremonies. So, and they had people from Japan there as like guides, and you could take part in the ceremony. It's one of the things I remember when I was pretty young. It's really interesting. So, there you go.
Maybe in America and France, so many chance to feel the Japanese culture.
Yeah,
and go to America, London, France.
Yeah.
Mainly.
And it was good also because everyone was dressed in traditional clothing, and they did the ceremony, they explained it, and you tried the tea, and also these soybean sweets that you would eat with the tea. I think they were soybean, I can't remember, but they're very sweet things. So the tea is, in America we put sugar in everything. But yeah, it's bad. But this is a long time ago. I was about 8 or 9 years old, so this was quite a while ago, but I still remember that.
Oh, nice.
So there you go. Okay, so think about some of the things we've talked about today. Think about some of the key vocabulary in the last class and even last week. We also had a set of adjectives in the other class, like glamorous, stressful. I don't know if you remember this. We were talking about the other cosmonaut, not Chris Hadfield, but the Russian space guy. We had and you listened to two people talking about their career plans. So we had a set of adjectives: dull, glamorous, exciting, comfortable. I don't remember. There was a whole set of these you might remember from the other class. So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to partner up with someone from the class, and I want you to explain your career plan, or what you're looking for, I should say, what you're looking for in a career. Your partner is going to be your vocational guidance counselor, and it's going to suggest a career plan in stages. You're going to use some of the key words from today, like get a promotion, avoid being dismissed, retirement plan, run your own business, start your own business, apply for a job, get hired, graduate. Some of these key words we talked about in the last two classes, any of the adjectives you used before, I don't have that presentation in front of me. Okay, so we're going to try it like this in pairs. See how many we can do. So, Frederic, I think you've been here for most of the classes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If I were to say to you, Frederic, I don't know what to do with my life. What I'd really like to do is I'd like to get paid to use my brain. What I really hate is being in a job that's just sort of labor intensive, because I've done those jobs. They're okay, but they're not satisfying. I've been a bartender. I've been a waiter. I've been a landscaper. I've mowed lawns. I've built things. They don't do anything for me. I really want to be in a job that uses my brain, lets me be creative in some way. And I'm getting older, Frederic. Oh, look at me. I'm getting old.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think should be my career plan? Can you give me 2 or 3 stages I ought to go through? Think back to Chris Hadfield. Remember, he didn't just become an astronaut. He set himself up to become an astronaut. He used the power of negative thinking to put himself in a position where he could become an astronaut. First, he became a ski instructor. I don't know if you remember the article. He became a ski instructor. Then he got into the military, so he became kind of like a test pilot. And then he found an opportunity to go to NASA. So you can also think about the power of negative thinking. Give me 2 or 3 stages you think I ought to go through to use creativity and get paid to think. That's what I want to do. What do you think I should do?
Well, maybe you should. Have you some particular skill or something like that, or
Nope.
no? Really, nothing.
I
Okay.
can speak Portuguese and English.
Okay. Well, maybe you could be an English teacher. Why not?
Oh, okay. That could be interesting.
Yeah, in Portugal. Yeah.
Well, I already speak the language. Why not? Okay.
Yeah. Maybe first you have to go back to school.
Okay, go to school. Got it.
Go to school and to be graduated in English. Yeah.
To be graduated in English. Okay.
Okay. Then once you are graduated, you maybe have to apply for a job in a Portuguese school.
Okay. Apply for a job. Got it. Right.
Okay. And that's it.
And that's
Easy.
it. Okay. Good. Look at two things in the chat window there. Just 2 mistakes. Take a quick look.
Get a degree in. Okay.
Not be graduated, but get a degree.
Okay. So you have to get a degree in English. Okay.
Right. Okay. And before that, the second to last.
And do you have some skill? Yeah, particular
Good.
skill. Okay.
Not have you, but do you have? Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Let's pair you up with Giancarlo. You're going to describe the job you want using the keywords and adjectives from before, and Giancarlo is going to suggest a career plan for you. Or we're going to give it a try.
Okay.
While we're doing that, I want you to start writing your job description, what you'd like. And I'm going to try to pair you up with someone who's going to be speaking. You can put it in the chat window. Take it away, Frederic. Tell them about what you're looking for.
Well, I have just been hired in a new company, so for now.
No, you haven't. You haven't been hired.
Okay,
You were not hired.
Okay,
So what are you looking for?
Okay. I'm looking for a job in IT because I am a programmer.
And tell us, describe it. What kind of job? What you want from the job? How should it feel? Are you looking for a glamorous job?
Yes, I'm. Yeah, it will be perfect if I can work from home. because I have kids and I want to stay home and be there and take care of my kids.
Sounds good. Okay. Giancarlo, based on what he said, what career plan could you suggest for him? Try to give him more than one stage if you can.
Yeah. Yes. Well, first of all, we need to be honest with ourselves, and the first thing you need to think about is how do you see yourself in 2 years or maybe in 5 years? Because I can feel that you are a little bit confused about the things you are doing right now. So first of all, you need to think about yourself. How do you feel yourself? Do you feel okay with the work or the company you are working for? If you don't, be honest and say, okay, I want this, I want to do that, or I don't want to do this, because deciding is a very important part in our lives. So we can decide, in our future, and we can say, okay, I don't want this because this. So it reminds me to make when we tended to make a list to do things or to do a list, and maybe you can see when you write the positive or negative things in the list, you can have the best option
Well, let's
because
have him answer the question. Frederick, where do you see yourself in 2 years or 5 years? Where would you like to be? Where do you see yourself in that time?
Oh, I want to be the CEO of the company, of course.
Of course, okay. Okay, Giancarlo, I don't know what you can suggest for him. He wants to be a CEO. Let's say 5 years, okay? That's doable. It's not impossible. If he wants to be the CEO of an IT company in 5 years,
okay, well, if you, Frederick, if you have the knowledge, the energy, the time to do it, go for it.
Okay.
so he's suggesting you use the power of positive thinking. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, Nader, you can start to describe the kind of job that you want. You can write it in the chat window, okay, when you have a chance. Think about that. Try to use some of the key adjectives from before. Giancarlo, you're going to describe the job you're looking for to now, and now is going to try to give you a few suggestions, and then I'll do Nader at the end. So Giancarlo, give her an idea. Try to use some of the key adjectives. Dull, glamorous. Remember, positive and negative from the other day. Dull, glamorous, routine, comfortable. If you give me a minute, I'll try to look up the entire list. Those are the ones that I
Yeah,
remember.
please, can you type all of them here in the verbing chat in order to use them? Please, John, thank you.
I'll do better than that. I'm going to try to find the presentation.
Glamorous.
I will try. But in the meantime, the ones that I recall from the class were, there were positive and negative ones. I'll just put them all as I remember them. Dull, routine, or negative. We talked about, many people think space travel is glamorous. It was glamorous. Some simple ones like comfortable environment. I have to look up the other ones. I don't remember. But I'll look up the presentation and give you the list. Okay, so if anyone else remembers, let me know. I can only remember these four right now. Okay, but I'll look for the presentation while you're doing this. So give her an idea, briefly, of what you're looking for in a future career. And she'll give you a suggestion or two in return.
Yes. Some years ago, I was working in a very important and glamorous chain of hotels called Rosewood, the Rosewood Hotel, the Rosewood chain. And of course, it is a challenge to be there because they require a lot of aspects in you. First of all, English is a must. Then schooling is a must too. So I see myself working in this hotel again because I had a good experience working in that place. So I will return maybe in a couple of years, and I know that it's a challenge, but I'll try it again Why? Because
Okay.
the environment is quite good and it's a very nice place to work in.
Frederick, what was the comment about challenging?
No, it's one of the words you are looking for, I think.
Okay, good. So, now, based on Giancarlo's description of what he's looking for, what would you suggest he think about in terms of a career path? What would your advice be if you were a vocational guidance counselor? You've just got a new job. You're guiding people to their destination. What would you say to him?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I always confuse by now is just now.
I know, but I don't know what else to call you.
Yeah, now. I should think your new career life, huh?
So he talked about he was working in a kind of fancy hotel before.
Okay.
Right? And he'd like to come back to it because it was a good work environment. Sounds like he's looking for a good work environment, place that has recognition, would look good on a CV. Okay. What would you suggest he think about in terms of a career path? If you were going to guide him, give him a career plan, what are some things he should keep in mind? What do you think? Just your opinion now.
He just should apply to this hotel.
But
just do it. I don't know. I cannot understand.
No, it's just your opinion. By the way, not he just should, but he should just.
He should just
apply. Okay, but what's going to set him apart from the competition? How could he make himself more attractive to an employer? What would you do to make sure that you got the job? What would you do?
He should study English more harder.
Okay.
He can get more advanced English, and if maybe he can speak more another language, the hotel might be happy to hire him.
Fantastic. We got a good expression for that. It's a little bit slang. You can say, beef up. Beef up your CV. Beef up.
Beef up.
Beef up. Giancarlo, she's suggesting you beef up your CV and work on not just English, but another language too. Do you speak a third language?
No, John, just English and Spanish.
Why not English, Spanish, and French?
Japanese.
Yeah,
or Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah. You have a Japanese teacher right here.
I tried speaking Italian some years ago, and it was quite interesting. Yes, of course, it could be a great idea to speak maybe one language more.
Yeah, who is a tourist? Who likes to spend tourist money? Japanese go on vacation. There you go. Chinese, there's a billion of them. Try Chinese. I don't know. Not a bad career advice. Not bad at all. Let's see. Nadir is saying, I'm going to move from my current company to another company which is smaller. So he's looking for some entrepreneurship. But there, I would go. What's this last part, Nadir? I would go some equity. You need to get some equity. Is that it? Okay, got it. So listen to his situation, class, and see what you could advise him. His main interest, actually now this is kind of like you. His main interest is in being an entrepreneur. He wants to start his own company. But, unfortunately, he's going to have to get some equity in order to do it. By the way, what kind of company is it, Nadir? Oh, it's an engineering firm. Got it. Okay. So, contracting. So, contracting to do different kinds of engineering projects, I assume. Okay, good. So, what could we say to Nadir to think about what he should do next? Think about a career step. First thing I would say, I don't know if you agree now, and Fredrik, the first thing I would say is make your business plan. Do it with a professional consultant. Make your business plan with a professional consultant that's going to beef up your business plan. In other words, make it really attractive to investors. Next, I would go directly to a VC, venture capital. I'd go directly to a VC company and I would pitch it to them directly. When you've had your business plan done professionally, because if you do it alone, you're going to be guessing. You need someone to bounce ideas off of. Then I would take your beefed up business plan and I'd go directly to a VC company, go to the biggest one first, see what they say. You have to get an appointment with them. Okay. What I wouldn't do is create a business plan totally alone, because you need an outside perspective. You need to know what it's going to sound like to other people. What do you think? Now, Fredrik, would you add anything?
I agree. Yes, you can't do it by yourself alone. It's very, maybe even dangerous, because you can lose money, and so yes, you have to get advice from someone else.
I wasn't even thinking about the money. I was thinking of just writing the business plan. If you've got even that, I think you need to get an outside perspective. Because I've done this in the past, and it was very difficult to do it from the point of view of someone I've got to convince to give me money. Write it from their point of view instead of my own. So that's what I was thinking of. But you're right, money as well. Now, as someone who's going to start her own business, what would you say to Nadir? Because you're in the same situation as him.
Yeah, so, now I talk about my plan to my friends and some, I agree to you.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to try to get investors to get involved in your company?
No, I will do the small. I will start a small company. So I'm not yet. I have not yet think about to see investigator.
Mm-hmm. Investor.
Investor.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that could be another plan. You could also start small and work in stages, right? So you can start and make what we call a sole tradership or a sole proprietorship, where it's a company with one person, or a limited partnership, you and one other person, and then based on your performance in a small way, you can then bring that to an investor later. It's another idea. Well, we lost Nadir, who I was trying to give advice to, so I guess that means it's the end of class.
Thank you so much.
We've got to stop here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to be starting a brand new topic next Monday in our Business Basics class, but I'll be back tomorrow for 2 hours from 12 to 2 GMT. Okay. So stick around for that tomorrow, okay? Have a great day. See you soon, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.